Welcome back to the Shotski show. We are rolling. We are live. So here we go, another week coming to an end. August 1st. August 1st is here. That's kind of crazy to think about. Didn't really notice. Didn't really feel this summer. I guess we're all in the same boat here. Just kind of the summer arrived and now it's gone just as quickly as it has arrived. Yeah, I mean, we are officially on the way towards winter. Less daylight. It's gonna get colder here in the motherland. So I think we got to get ourselves, psychologically ready for that. Start adapting that fall, winter mentality. So it doesn't shock us as much as it could, as it will, when it arrives. I mean, there's this great idea that wisdom is prevention, right? Like the wise man prevents negative things from happening, foresees. So I think we got to be real. We got to be real about the way things are, and it seems like this first quarantine was the beginning of this struggle. There's rumors about a vaccine coming out soon, but I wouldn't get too optimistic too quickly. This could last a while. This could last a year, 2 years, 3 years. Not just in terms of defeating the virus and coming up with a vaccine and figuring things out and getting back to normal, but just in terms of the way our society has restructured, and how it's not going to be able to just kind of go back to the way it used to. Neither does it need to. It's things are not going back. I think things are not going back to the way they used to be. And we have to welcome this new era with optimism. There are a lot of good things that will come out of this. Education is going to be different. It's going to be online. I sincerely believe that physical schools will almost completely disappear within the next 10-20 years, and our children are going to have other ways to socialize. It's just going to be done in a different manner. They're going to get together for sports. They're going to get together for certain things, but I don't think they're going to study together. I don't think I don't think like doing math together in the same room is going to be a thing. I think you can do it in front of your laptop, in your room, in front of your computer or device. Literature. Reading books, writing. I don't think that's going to be taught at a regular school. It just makes no sense, right? To put kids into the same room and have them risk giving each other diseases. Even after the vaccine comes out, I don't think we can we can reverse our thinking. We're always going to be thinking, oh, what if another thing breaks out? What if another virus, another thing, comes up. Um, so so things are changing, man. Things are changing. I work in education, so for me that's a big one. But it's just changing all around now. Um, our medical system is changing. Like we don't really feel comfortable going to the doctor anymore, right? It's like it used to be a hassle, but now it's even more of a hassle, right? Because like there's all this, there are all these questions now. And poor doctors, I feel like there's gonna be a lot more skepticism towards the profession. I feel like there's gonna be a lot more like, ooh, like who is this? Like, is this really a good specialist? Is this person like gonna treat me right? I feel like skepticism is higher than ever in the medical system, and it is so in the educational system as well. People are really questioning who is delivering their service now. So that's going on. Oh, yeah, life. What else is on my mind? Well, what else is on my mind? It's been on my mind for a while now. It's the question of whether there is one person for you out there in terms of like marriage and romance. Is it really one soul that you're supposed to be with, or is that just an idea that was promoted by literature and movies and just artwork that kind of, including the Bible, right? Adam and Eve, all that kind of made us think that there's only one partner for each and every one of us out there. And I don't know what to think. I used to believe that there's one person for you out there, and I still kind of do believe that. And maybe that's the cause of a lot of my angst and suffering, because I tend to obsess over people or obsess over past relationships. And it seems like I just need to move on and accept the idea that by obsessing over my past, I am not allowing my future. I'm not giving my future any chances here. I'm just kind of shooting myself in the foot before I even get going. But yeah, I've been thinking a lot about that. I've been thinking a lot about people that spend, time in relationships and then they end them for some reason. It's not working, and then, they spend their whole life thinking that they made a mistake, and I guess that's like a common human thing that we do. We always think that it used to be better in the past. We never think that like it's gonna get better. We always think that oh yeah, like 3 years ago it was great, even though 3 years ago you might have been suffering and thinking, oh man, this sucks. This is not good. I need to change my situation. And now 3 years from now, you're sitting here and you're thinking, oh, that situation was amazing. Oh, if only I could bring that back. Oh, fucking human psychology, man. It's a wild ride, isn't it? But I do believe we got to be the masters of our own psyche. And we have to work on that. Figure out a way to control it. Figure out a way to have it work for us and not have it work against us. I think we have to give new people a chance. Not just from a romance standpoint, but in general, Meet your neighbors. Give them a chance. They might be great people. Make new friends. Give new people a chance to enter your circle. To enter, your circle or whatever of communication, or See, I sound like a fucking robot. Circle of communication. Just let other people become part of your life. Give them a chance. I have an issue with that. I used to think that I'm extroverted, but I guess I'm not really. I struggle with people, man. I struggle with trusting people. And I struggle with giving people a chance. Yeah, I struggle with, when it comes to giving new friendships a go, or new relationships, or new anything. I just kind of I don't know, I guess I focus too much on keeping things that I might have already lost instead of building new things. And maybe that's everybody in a way. But I think we have to build. And we have to go out there and build. We have to build new homes, and build new lives, and build new careers, and build new companies, and build new worlds, fictional worlds if you're a writer, or radio worlds if you're a radio host. Build new shit, man. Build new shit. Build new relationships. Build better. Build better than you've built before. But keep building. Because you will build something better something better that you've built before. You're always thinking fuck, what if I'm not gonna do things as well as I've done them before? Nah, you will, right? That's evolution. That's the way things work. You're just gonna do things better the next time you do it, because you're gonna make less mistakes. That's automatic if you're smart, or if you have an inkling of an intellect, right? It's just what's gonna happen. Anyways, I've been thinking about this cognitive illusion a lot, or this cognitive bias, and it's called the end of history illusion. It's the idea that it's the end of history always. When you're in the now, and the older you get, the more you feel this feeling of this is the end of everything. This is the end of history. My life is just going to be like this. It's not going to get better. I'm not going to grow. I'm not going to develop. I'm not going to learn new skills. I'm not going to be able to build a new career. I have to look back and find things for keeping so that I can make it through this. Nah, dude, you don't need to look back. That's the thing. That's what I've been realizing for myself, and it's what I've been teaching my students. You don't need to look back like that. You have to look forward, and you have to understand that it's about the future. And there's so much more life to live, even if you're 80, 70, which I'm not, but I think that's the way the Creator planned us, or I think it's just that's the way we're designed. We're meant to grow, even if we dissolve physically, which we can manage for a while. Our whole lives, we can manage it, fight it. But, the essential change that goes on here is our intellectual change, and our the change of our psyche. Our psyche gets stronger, gets wiser. Every day it learns. Because, you know, I'd split up the mind. I'd split up the mind into two categories. I'd have the psyche and I'd have the intellect. And I think those are the two things that, you know, we're working on here. Is we're developing the psyche and we're developing the intellect, right? The intellect is like how many languages you know, how well you can use them, you know, apply them to real life problems, you know, how many sciences you know, facts, words, people, events, right? Like it's just pattern recognition, math, right? Like your intellect, right? You have that. And then you have your psyche. They like to call it the emotional intellect these days, but I like the word psyche more. You know, it's just like you have the psychological aspects of your mind, right? Like how well you react to stress, how well you react to trauma, how well you manage your emotional states, right? How well you understand them and just work with your emotional aspects, right? Like with your fears, essentially. Also, your fears. Yeah, you learn that shit too, and you get better at it every day. That's what I like about life is that you, yeah, man, you become more thick-skinned as you go on. You become more thick-skinned, which is amazing. I think it's like it's a beautiful aspect, right? Remember when you were a kid, everything fucking bothered you and like offended you and like upset you. I mean, I think we all generally went through that. Somebody says something about you, or you know, behind your back, or makes a negative comment or something, and you know, or a relationship doesn't work out, friendship, romance, and you're broken. Like that's not happening, right? Like we've overcome that in our 20s, mid 20s. It's not happening anymore. We're much better at dealing with all of this stuff. Yet it seems like we haven't learned anything. There's this illusion, right, that we haven't learned anything also. It's crazy. Spend our whole lives learning to then be stuck in this intellectual illusion that we haven't learned. I fucking agree with Aristotle, the idea that, you know, I don't know anything. That's all I know. But lately I've been attacking him. I agree with it, but at the same time I don't agree with it because it prevents us from respecting ourselves and seeing our progress. I know a lot of shit, Mr. Aristotle. I know a lot of shit. I know a lot of shit about history. I know a lot of shit about philosophy. I know a lot of shit about math, reason, language, writing, cinema, music. I know a lot of shit. And knowledge is power, and I'm going to keep learning and I'm going to keep becoming more powerful because that's what drives me. Learning. And teaching others for selfish reasons, because when I teach, I learn myself. Even if I repeat the same thing, I learn more and more about it as I teach. It's an amazing tool for learning. It's selfish. My motivation to teach is selfish. I like helping other people, but hell, I like helping myself the most. If I can help other people while I help myself, great. But yeah, it's a selfish thing. I love it. I love it because of that. Because I learn. I learn when I teach. And the more you learn, you know, the more resilient you become. And for me, like, you know, that's the goal in life, you know, is to become as resilient as possible, you know. To be as ready for as many adventures as possible and experiences. So intellectual resilience and psychological resilience. Those are big for me. Those are big. And what else? Well, there's rumors that a vaccine is coming soon. That'll be nice. But it seems like there's going to be another quarantine in Russia. Rumors are that it's going to be the end of September 20th. And it's going to be much more strict than the one before. Yeah, so I'm thinking, we're in for a ride this fall. If you wanted to build a business online, now is the time to build it, man. If you want to start doing something new, man, now is the time to do it, because the world right now has not recovered from this shit yet. And we're still very much in the middle of it. There's this one dude that I worked with that did Humans of New York, and I was fortunate to chat with him a little bit about the situation. He said, Mr. Brandon Stanton is his name. He said that this is our generation's World War II. And what I got from it is not just that it's going to be a time of struggle and a time of testing, testing yourself, testing your friends, testing yourself most of all. And it's not just going to be a time, it's not just going to be a huge kind of like test of courage and will for a lot of people, and ability, the ability to survive and prosper and things like that, but it's also going to be just a long period of struggle. That's what he meant, I think. World War II lasted 5 years. That's a long fucking time. Imagine that time. Imagine how tough it was. It's not like, this shit was happening for a month. The shit was happening for 5 years. 5 long years. So this is what we have to keep in mind, People think, oh, this is just gonna, we're just gonna have this little quarantine and then it's gonna be over. No, that's not how society works. Something big has begun. And we're still very much in the midst of it. I think we're in the beginning of it. I'm kind of pessimistic about it at this point, or maybe I'm preparing myself for the worst, but this might last a long time, man. A long time. But again, it's a chance. It's a chance to become stronger. It's a chance to rebuild ourselves and reinvent ourselves. And that's what everybody, I think, should be doing, is rebuilding themselves and reinventing themselves and embracing change. And yeah, man, it's going to mean a pay cut. That's been said. And I'm going to say it again. It's going to mean less money and more struggle. But in the end, we're going to come out stronger. We're going to come out happier. And we're going to come out we're going to come out better as a human race. We're going to come out better. But we have just entered this. Even if a vaccine comes out this winter or by the end of fall, the economy is not just going to bounce back. Jobs are not just going to come back. Because employers are going to think, oh shit, well, what if another virus happens, right? In like 5-10 years. Like, am I going to be ready for it? Yeah, so it's just gonna be a whole new thing now, man. A whole new thing. I'm blessed because I have the means to reinvent myself and adapt for this new era by becoming a new me, I'm more worried about the individuals that have no tools or no knowledge, or just they have no idea about how to begin this process of reinventing themselves. They have no idea about where to start, like where to look, like what to do. Like, a lot of people, I think, are just losing self-confidence, man. I mean, if you lose your job, you lose your well-being, you lose self-confidence. You start thinking of yourself as someone of value. And where do you find the courage and the strength, to go to that job interview if you don't think you're worth anything? That's one. The one thing I think is that people who have the opportunity to employ people right now, they have to go easy on them and really help them and really like bring them up in life. Because there shouldn't be any shit like, oh, what makes you the perfect candidate for the job. Like, come on, if the person's skilled and seems like there's potential, give the person the fucking job. Don't fucking torture the person. The person fucking barely gathered their willpower to have this interview with you in the first place. Let's just start with that. It's already like a feat to be having this interview with you. That's like an achievement already. It's fucking hard in this era. But look for new ways, man. Look for new ways, new pathways. That's the one mistake that we're all making, every crisis. If you look at human history, people start to panic and they start to look for solutions in ways that they have looked for. They start solving problems the way they've solved them before, and those are the ones that lose. The ones that win during a moment of crisis and a moment of like an era shift are the ones that start doing things differently and start embracing novelty and change. And just this searching, for new pathways and new opportunities. It's everything, and it's hard because not a lot of people can afford this search for something new. But we have to look for these opportunities, man. We have to look for these gateways. Everybody. And we can find them. And today it often comes down to having technology or not. But even that does not guarantee anything. But that's a big question, right? Having technology or not. So if you're out there and you have a laptop and you have an iPhone, you have an internet connection, you're good. You can build something. You can do something. You can do something great. You just have to have faith, and you have to have patience. And you cannot take yourself too seriously. Because we have entered the era of full transparency. That's what sells now. Is you laying on the couch being you. In your sweats. That's what sells. You don't need to pretend to be anybody else anymore. And that's kind of cool, isn't it? This world of full transparency kind of removes a lot of pressure off of you, doesn't it? It does. I think it does. So, welcome everybody to the new era. And happy reinventing. I'll check up on y'all soon. Peace out.